Sup dogs, TheOdie here, and welcome to Project Horror MZ, the series where I take a concept, an idea, or a plugin, and turn it into a horror game in RPG Maker MZ. For this series featured plugin, Cutie Virus's MZ3D, and its resulting game, Captive, You Are My Idol. Allow me to introduce to you our main protagonist, Aylin. She is your standard Let's Play online influencer, but to add irony to the title, she is a horror game Let's Player. And as you can imagine from the title, she gets kidnapped. And that's actually how this game begins. Cut to waking up from a daze, and Aylin is lying on her bed. Except it isn't quite her room. You're awake. Good. Imagine hearing those words out of all things when you first wake up. Kinda disturbing, if you ask me. Okay, disclaimer. I mentioned this in the concept video that I showed previously to this episode, but I do have to say it again here. This is a complete work of fiction. Kidnapping is a serious crime and can result in such horrible trauma. All names and events within this game has been completely conjured up by me, and anything relating to any such story that may have happened in real life is purely and completely coincidental. Now, with that said, let's talk video game. Well, before getting ahead of myself, I have to first let you know that this kidnapper is actually quite the fan of aliens. Actually, he's quite the twisted fan of aliens, as you can imagine, because he kidnapped her in hopes to make her fall in love with him. So what does this kidnapper decide to do? Well, he invites her upstairs for dinner. Okay, I chuckle at that, but let me rephrase that in a more serious tone. He invites her up to dinner. Imagine sitting at the dinner table, face to face with your kidnapper. This is the moment the game transitions to 3D. You see, my goal here with MZ3D is not to just make a purely 3D game, but instead to transition it from 2D to 3D so that it can enter a realm known as the Uncanny Valley. If you don't know what that is, well, to put it simple, it's a crack in reality for your brain. At first, it identifies this game as 2D and defines the world and all things going forward pretty much as so. But suddenly, you're in 3D. And the first thing that should come to mind is something is not right here. Something about this scene should be screaming danger to you as the player. Sure, in the opening scene, you see Aylin get kidnapped, and that alone should be the most traumatic and terrifying moment. But all that happens in 2D, and now you're living with him face to face right in front of you, and suddenly everything's in 3D. Right now, your brain should be screaming at you that something isn't right here. Everything you thought before is completely changed. You best be careful, because clearly anything you say, any move you make, will be critical. So this game spans for several days, and while Aylin is downstairs, everything takes place in 2D where she can quote-unquote think to herself safely. But while you're upstairs, that's where your kidnapper is staring at you face to face, analyzing your every move and considering all of the words that you say. But at some point, she's got to consider her options for escape, and as it so happens, there are two. One, she could try her best to examine the surrounding area and gather clues, or try deceiving him with her words to potentially lower his guard and allow her to escape. All of this, mind you, is upstairs, by the way, because downstairs, kind of just locked up in a little square. Not exactly a whole lot you can do down there. Just remember that whatever you do, he will have a watchful eye and be on high alert from the very first day. So be sure to choose wisely. Or, you know, just don't even attempt to escape at all and just succumb to his very desires. Wouldn't really recommend that, but that's an ending. It's an option. There's a true end for that. Speaking of which, I used the word true end, and yes, true end. By that convention, there should only be one true end. But if you played Capture's Trap, then you'll know exactly what I mean by true end. In my fashion, I like having different routes, and based on the route that you take, will lead you to its very own ending. Almost as if a timeline has splitted based upon your action, and that your action matters no matter which one you take. For example, one of those paths may lead you down to a wild and high stakes end. Stepping back into 3D, Aelin will be hiding from her kidnapper, all while solving a puzzle cube. Sounds insane, but yep, it's in there. Good luck if you end up in that path. Oh yeah, good luck very much. Similar to how I jumped into this video from the future, you too can do the same in this game. Welcome to the timeline. As you play the game, you identify critical moments that would twist Aelin's fate. Now you can jump straight back into them at any time, and you can jump into the timeline whenever you want. Oh, and yes, those are indeed all of the endings. For your guys' sake, there are 3 true endings, and the rest, well, you did your best. Also, there's a secret ending that won't show up in that section over there. I make it sound like it's naughty or something. But the best part about having this timeline is that you won't have to be concerned with manual saving at all. Yep, the game autosaves. Oh yeah, one last thing about the timeline, it's pretty chill here. Gotta say, I'm pretty proud with how this BGM turned out. Anyway, I'm gonna go hop back here to where past TheOdie finishes the video. See ya! Oh, and I know you very so much want to see that transition from 2D through 3D in real time, and don't worry, it's in there. It's just saved for a very specific and deserving moment. So guys, you can find Captive You Are My Idol, or what I've been calling Captive YAMI throughout its development, over on Steam. It'll be available for $4.99, but if you are watching this video within the first 2 weeks of its release, then congratulations, you can get it for $2.99 as a release sale. There is also a supporter DLC that will dive deep into my thoughts in the creation and the use of MZ3D and how I use it to really shape and transform this game. It may even cover some features that I was not able to put into this video. But more so, this DLC is for you guys to support me in the crazy projects that I do, and the very least that I could do to say thank you. So what do you guys think? Does it sound like a pretty good use of the MZ3D plugin? I would love to read your comments down in the comments, and especially if you gave the game a shot. In the next and final episode of Project Horror, The Aftermath, I will go over all the things that I liked and hated while using MZ3D. So if you're a developer of the RPG Maker system and you've been on the edge as to whether or not to spend that $30 for MZ3D, then that'll probably be one you'll want to check out. Till then, please enjoy the game, drop a review on Steam if you are able to, give this video a thumbs up if you don't mind, and I'll see you in the next one. Till then, later!